Kevin McCarthy successfully tied raising the debt ceiling, meaning a simple willingness to pay your existing debts, to the budget for the future. And in the process was able to slash IRS funding, tighten restrictions on federal food stamp programs, which were GOP priorities. Democrats mostly were able to just avoid more GOP demands, like changes to Medicaid and rescinding Biden's plan to forgive student debt, which will, by the way, likely be struck down by the Supreme Court anyway. Bottom line is that Biden and McCarthy reached a deal. In today's partisan environment, where the extremes often push the agenda, that is a small cause for celebration. The crazy thing is that it seems Speaker McCarthy is having a tougher time selling this deal than President Biden is, as they seek to persuade lawmakers and their parties to vote on it. The House could vote as soon as tomorrow before it goes to the Senate. A decision must be reached, of course, by January 5th to avert a default. Joining me now, Mike Rogers, former Republican from Michigan. While in Congress, he chaired the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. And John Delaney, former Democratic congressman from Maryland. While in Congress, he served on the Committee on Financial Services and the Joint Economic Committee. Gentlemen, thanks very much for coming on the program. Appreciate it. All right, Congressman Rogers, let me start with you. Why are these extremist Republicans so upset about a deal that, from my perspective, seems like a win for Kevin McCarthy?
Well, I think it's easy to be upset if you know you don't have to vote for it, and you can look like the toughest, most conservative guy in the room by saying this is terrible, terrible. Listen, no deal like this is great. No team on either side is going to be completely delighted. But I think this has some important components in it for the Republicans. And I think they're candidly going to be foolish if they don't ride this thing to the next step in trying to rein in big federal government. This was a very important step. It wasn't huge. It wasn't a whole lap around the track, but it was really important to get where they were going. I give kudos to Kevin McCarthy for pulling this rabbit out of his hat to get this deal.
Yeah, and former Congressman Delaney, do you also see this as kind of a victory for McCarthy, or do you think that that's too big a statement to make from your perspective?
Well, I think it's a victory for both the president and the speaker. And the reason it's a victory for each of them is because they successfully negotiated a deal that avoided a catastrophic outcome. And they did what the overwhelming majority of the American people want their political leaders to do, which is to work together, find common ground, and cut a deal. You know, the best deals, whether they're in business or politics, are ones where everyone feels a little bad when they're done. And if you talk to reasonable Democrats and reasonable Republicans, they feel a little bad about some of the things in this deal, which to me is a definition of a good deal. So I think the President of the United States has proven to be a bipartisan deal maker. And I think the Speaker stepped forward and cut a bipartisan deal here as well. So I think they each should feel good.
From the Democrats' perspective, let me ask you this. From the Democrats' perspective, isn't there an argument that they got nothing apart from no catastrophic failure of the government, but gave away some major points?
Well, first of all, I don't think they gave away major points.
Okay.
I mean, giving away unspent COVID relief dollars is like the sleeves off your vest, right? So some of these things, the budget levels that were agreed to, they strike me as pretty similar to where the appropriations levels would have come out. I think the work requirements that were put in place were crafted in a way that they don't, damage people, in my judgment. I would have liked to have seen more in permitting reform, for example, because I do think there's a lot of bipartisan agreement there, and I would have wished a little more would have come out of that. But the way to think about this is the Republican Party right now is the party in opposition, right? The Democrats are the party with more of a majority in government, with the White House and the Senate. So it was inevitable that was the way this deal was going to play out. I mean, the Democrats' position was pretty simple. They didn't want anything for a debt ceiling deal. They wanted to raise the debt ceiling in a clean manner, which is the principled position. The real principled position is we should get rid of the debt ceiling, which doesn't mean we don't have very significant fiscal issues in this country. I frankly believe our fiscal trajectory is unsustainable and we're headed towards a fiscal crisis. The debt ceiling is not the way to deal with that.
All right. Gentlemen, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.